When you were called to come in to play with this band, the Byrds, what was it like in the studio when you walked in? What was the atmosphere? Because you'd obviously done country sessions in Los Angeles. You'd been in traditional country settings, right? What was different about walking into the studio with the Byrds?
When I walked into the studio, nobody was there. Those guys really played the role. They would come in later in a Volkswagen bus, hanging their arms out, waving. But to me, doing sessions then and now even is business. And I wanted to be punctual, so I walk in and nobody's around, and I would have to wait. But once they got there, it turned into business. Roger was really good about things. Chris, they knew the songs they wanted to do, and so we got at it, and we just kind of put together these tracks, and that's kind of how that happened.
You were invited to join the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Yes.
How did that happen? I'm just curious. Do you remember what the chain of events was for that?
I think it had to do with the Flying Burrito Brothers manager being told that there was another long-haired steel guitar player in besides Sneaky, in town. So whenever Sneaky decided to leave the Flying Burrito Brothers, their manager called, and Ed Tickner was his name. And I went out to the beach house in Santa Monica to audition with him, and I brought my guitar and I brought everything I had. But Bernie Ledden, who was still playing with the group, took that position, and he was doing a real good job with the guitar. So I just was asked to join the group, and that was on a Saturday, and said we'll be on the road on Tuesday, so here's a bunch of albums. So so I had to go home and kind of do some woodshedding for that, but it turned out good. All right.
Did I imagine this, or when I saw Linda Ronstadt at Rob Jim in Santa Barbara in 1975 or 4, Ed Black was in the band and you were in the band, and I could have sworn I saw 2 steel guitars on stage, and I could have sworn I heard Rose City Chimes.
Yes.
Did I dream that?
No, that was true. Ed had left the band. I joined the band, and we did all the TV shows, Midnight Special, and all that stuff. And then we got ready to rehearse to go on the road, and I walked into the SIR studio, and there was Ed's black steel and guitar set up, and I went, oh, I guess I'm fired. So I just turned around. I started walking out to Kenny Edwards, and I just said, he saw me walking in the hall. I said, at least you could have done it, called me, told me not to come down here. And they said, oh, no, you're not out of the band. Ed's just back in the band because you both play steel and guitar. So if he's playing steel, then you play guitar and vice versa. So I just went up to Ed, and I said, we're either going to be best friends or worst enemies, so let's be best friends. Because the one guy would be trying to get the other guy out of the band. So instead, we just became good friends, and he played on her version of Silver Threads and Golden Needles. And he told me, he said, I doubled the solo, and I doubled the intro, and I broke into harmony in the solo. So we would bring our steels up to the room and just teach each other stuff, because there was no videos or anything. So the only way you could learn is from some other guy, right? So we learned that, because you couldn't just go up and play 2 steels without rehearsing it. So we had it, but it was worked out perfectly. So it just sounded just like the record, with the 2 steels. And then he taught me Rose City Chimes to play when Linda would walk off, so it was like just really cool to have 2 steels working in conjunction, all planned out though, but it was a beautiful thing.